Hello all, welcome to Tech Recess. In this video, I will talk about a topic or aspect of programming which is mostly ignored by developers. As a developer, I have witnessed or experienced that we are more focused towards code quality and the application performance and how can we debug our application seamlessly, and also focusing on basically the meeting the requirements from business. And also we focus on like how can we make sure that our application is secured in the way that mostly I have seen that people apply the methods of authentication, authorization in the applications, right? But when it comes to data security in transit, right? So we become like a bit ignorant, or maybe we don't understand that, okay, so how can we make sure that data is also secure in transit, right? So when I say in transit, it means that whenever you click on a button on a web page, right, data is sent via wire to the application server, right? So when it is traveling from the client application to the server, right? So in between, there will be some kind of connections that may go through the public internet, or maybe if you have that application in-house, so that may be in the Baronet. So, but how can we make sure that when we click on the button, right, the data which is going on the wire is secured, right? So let us see that by an example. So here you can see that we have a client and we have a server, and both and client is sending some data to the server, right? So now, I mean, at the when data is at the client side, right? You applied all the methods, authentication, authorization, and that is very good. You are secured, right? But and also when data has reached to server, so server access is only to some admins or some people. Not everybody can go and see the data, right, on the server. So mostly I've seen applications are secured at client side and the server side. But when you see this right wire between these two, the blue wire, right, the arrow, so this is the place where it is mostly vulnerable or not secured because it is in transit. So if it is not secured, what can happen? So you can see that there might be some hacker or malicious actor that can plug in into this wire and get some data packets from there, right? So data in transit is really critical because if some hacker or a malicious actor can listen into the conversation which is happening between the client and server, that is going to be a disaster, right? So people, a developer, we always focus on the client side and the server side, but we miss this critical piece when data is uh, out in the world, right? So now data in transit, I think it is now it is clear that when data is traveling from client to server and vice versa, then we can say it is in transit, right? It is started from the source and reaching the destination. So that is where we see a lot of attacks happens on the applications, and a lot of breaches happen in the past also, right? So the best solution to secure data in transit is the TLS, right, protocol, right? So uh, even if that application is your internal application, in-house application, right? Uh, Even then, you must utilize the TLS protocol because it encrypts data while in transit. So when data is traveling from client to server, it is encrypted. So even if somebody is able to get those data packets from that connection, they cannot do much because data is in garbage form, right? So it is really critical to utilize this TLS protocol, and so that we are always making sure that it is encrypted while in transit, right? So to implement TLS protocol, we must understand about the certificates, because normally it is utilized by certificates. So certificates are basically issued by the third parties, right? Like some third parties like CA trust stores. So maybe you can have your in-house trust stores or the CA authorities which issue certificates. So what happens that as a first step, suppose now you want to establish a connection between client and server, and you are also inclined to make your data in transit as very secure and encrypted. So for that, what the first step is that the server, at least server, must obtain a certificate from the CA authority, right? So authority that CA authority will provide the certificate to the server. So now, whenever a client want to communicate with the server must prove its identity, right? That okay, I am the legitimate server, and then both of this client and server will exchange encryption key, a symmetric encryption key. With that, they will communicate. So you can see here that the CA authority has issued a certificate to server. Now it has configured that, and when the client want to establish connection from with the server, right? It will send a request. Now, after that request I mean, response sent back, the certificate is also sent to the client, right? So that now client can verify this certificate with the CA authority, right? Because this certificate has signatures from CA authority, it knows okay whom it was issued. So when server is presenting the certificate to the client, it is going to verify with the CA authority, and if that is legit and it is correct certificate, then it is going to establish a handshake between the server. So now, I mean, this whole process of SSL handshake uh, generally comes in two flavors. One is the one-way TLS, another is the MTLS, right? So I have made a very detailed video on these two topics, like, and each and every step I explain in that. So I'll put that video in the description. You can go through that video. So I will not go into like how one-way TLS and MTLS works, but just like a information. When we use the one-way TLS, only server needs to obtain certificate from C and present to client, right? But when we use the MTLS, right, a mutual TLS, in that case, both client and server must obtain certificate from C authority and must exchange to each other, right? So, so that both prove, okay, I'm the one who I say, right? So both need to present this certificate to each other. Hmm. So that is the way MTS works. So, but like whenever you have public applications, right, at that time it is not possible to use the MTLS, because suppose client may be like maybe in the thousands or maybe in the lakhs, right? So at that time, it's not possible. But whenever you have like you are like maybe app is like in-house application or like a in some few numbers, right? At that time, it is best to use MTLS, because MTLS is like verifying both the parties in question, and then you are able to encrypt data between them. So ultimately, when we use this TLS or SSL mechanism, both identify each other and verify each other with the certificates, and then they exchange an encryption key that is used to encrypt data and decrypt data during the course of the communication between these two uh, entities, right? So for this, you can see the video. I'll put a link in description. So yeah, thank you very much for watching.